All right, everything coming through pretty clear?
Absolutely.
All right, perfect. Get this started. Okay. All right, perfect. All right. Obviously, start off. It's an honor to interview you. I've followed your career from the very beginning. A lot of your solo stuff. I know Fernanda has especially followed your career from SUNRAY magazine, the director. So it's just a huge honor to have you here with us.
Thank you very much.
Of course, you have a huge solo tour coming up, which starts in the part of the United States, I believe.
Sorry, say it again. Sorry, it's
No, you're all good.
all of you. Oh,
You have a huge solo tour coming up, which starts in Eastern United States, right? On the east side?
yes. Yeah, we started in South Carolina.
Oh, perfect. We heard it's gonna include songs pretty much over your long work, your career, Asking Alexandria, solo work, We Are Harlot. I'm sure you're beyond excited about this. Tell us a bit about this tour and the choices you made to cover your extensive catalog.
Yeah, it was I mean, I've kind of been so inactive for the last it's about 5 years since I've been out. I've got I've kind of put everything on the back burner, uh, working on asking stuff for such a long time, and kind of reached a point where I felt like it was like, and I've been working on this new album, and I wanted to, uh, prior to taking the new album out and releasing that, I just wanted to take a moment and just readdress everything I've done up until this point, and kind of celebrate that and pay homage to it a little bit. So we just threw together a super quick, just 2 week run, to do that before we're getting into the work bit
Yeah.
of um, yeah. There's a handful of songs that I've always loved and never gotten to play with Alexandria. Same with Harlot. So I thought it was a good opportunity to touch those and be able to do stuff that I've wanted to do and not been able to.
So it's like a personal journey for you then, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Uh, Obviously you're not a one-sided vocalist. You have a wide range, which is truly respectable, actually coming from a vocalist. I was always had trouble going from singing to screaming. I was more of a screamer. So I respect that tremendously. Uh, Obviously you go from harsh vocals to clean vocals, your screams that blows everybody away. How do you prepare your vocals before a show or before recording? Like, do you have any rituals that you do?
Um, okay. Yes, very bad advice we're about to give. I've generally found the the sweet spot. I mean, dietary wise, I have to be careful what I eat before I sing. Like stuff with dairy and stuff like make me all phlegmy, and that's never good. Um, but I generally I'm talking a lot throughout the day already. I usually warm up as soon as I wake up, and for the most part, unless you go back to sleep again or you're silent for 6 hours, you're always just going to stay warm. So I'm usually good on that front. And then just in terms of just being loose and ready to actually perform, my sweet spot is it starts an hour before I go on. And I take a shot of tequila every 15 minutes. So it's around 4 or 5 shots before I go on stage, and that usually sits me like nice and loose, where I'm still I'm still sober and lucid, but the muscles have relaxed and I'm just kind of in a free flow state. Other than that, no, I hang out, listen to music. I usually have friends coming to shows that show up about an hour before, so just a little bit of socializing and having a good time.
Yeah, awesome. With your solo career, do you plan to release an album or any singles soon?
Yep, I have. I'm mixing the album right now. I recorded it about a month ago now. Um, yeah, I mean, I've been writing it for the best part of 5 years, and it was an arduous process, and there was a lot of taking stuff out and wondering if stuff shouldn't be in there. Is it too much? Is it too personal? Is it too? I mean, I've met with some people. I remember I met with one record label and walked into the meeting after they'd heard the album, and the AR there just very genuinely asked me if I was okay.
I feel that.
Uh, I was like, I know it's. She's like, this is a heavy album emotionally, and I was like, yeah, it was that was a lot of divorce writing, so it was it was kind of an internal dilemma of do I want to put that out, but ultimately I love the song so much, so I just wanted them to come out. But yeah, the album's being finished right now, and hopefully first single. I'm assuming probably August, September.
Awesome. I can't wait to hear it. So of course we got to mention Asking Alexandria, one of the most recognizable metalcore bands in the world. Um, hits that include Final Episode, Let's Change the Channel, Closure, The Death of Me, Throwing Four into the Fire, the most recent, Dark Void. When you returned, I noticed that there was more of your guys' original work. Did the creative process change at all, to get back that sound, or did you guys talk about that?
Um, yeah, with the most recent album, I mean, we started writing and just it kind of wasn't really feeling it, and it didn't feel like what the band needed at the time. Um, it was also, I mean, I was writing from a very personal place, like I generally do. Um, and I don't know, it felt like this shouldn't be an Ask Alexandria album. And we were on the phone, and everyone's trying to figure out what it should be, what it should sound like, and ultimately I was like, listen, we always just do albums for us, which I don't think is a negative thing, but we we write songs that we want to hear and that feel right to us. And I thought, what if we just throw that out and don't chase that same thing and just release an album based off what we see online and what fans have responded to so much of the years. So we just wrote an album purely for that, and kind of didn't make it personal and didn't make it like a little inbuilt therapy for ourselves, and just wrote an album that we thought people might want to hear.
Awesome. Do you feel that like what album from Asking Alexandria do you think represents you best?
Ooh, you probably See What's on the Inside is the most accurate of who we are and what we enjoy. Like a House on Fire is my favorite, but I think See What's on the Inside is about as close to us as people and musicians as anyone could possibly find.
Awesome. Let's see. In September, the band will be on tour with All My Friends Part Two, Memphis Mayfire, The World Alive, Archers. Whose idea was it to do this tour together?
Um, well, I didn't name the tour. I have been trying to go on tour with Maddie and Telly for our entire careers. Maddie and I met on second tour, I think. And he's been one of my best friends that I've ever had in my entire life. Telly I met a couple years after. The same story. Like they are two of my best friends on earth, and I don't love touring. So if I go out, I would really just like to go out with my friends.
Yeah.
I pushed for this tour for so long, and I got shot down so many times and was told a million reasons why it wouldn't work, and eventually I just I bypassed everyone, and I just called Maddie and Telly and said, "We're gonna go on tour. When are you available?" And that's how the first one happened. We had a bypass managers and agents and just figured it out ourselves. And then it did so well, and obviously we had a great time because we were just hanging out with our buddies. That apparently people wanted a second go of it, so here we are.
Awesome. What I think you already mentioned it. What song was your favorite to perform, just out of all of them?
Little Did I Know is always a lot of fun. Probably Tomorrow. Such a good song, but it's also so depressing, and I get vast amounts of enjoyment out of that.
But those are the songs that we can resonate with, that we feel in our hearts, that you speak your truth. And it's hard to be open, with songs like that, or just be open in general about mental health or anything of that nature.
Yeah,
But when you are, I mean, the fans, everybody, we really resonate with that and respect that you can be open about it.
I'm glad.
What advice would you give the new band starting out, if you did have any?
Uh, Probably a little controversial, but um, I would say don't do a band. Um, I don't think it's a particularly strong business model, and as much as we want to make music with our friends and be music and be about music. Ultimately, if you're trying to do this as your living, you have to treat it like a business sooner or later, and I advise doing it sooner. Um, just so that everything's set up and you're going about it the right way. I think a band is a bad business model because that's a whole lot of business partners for everything to be in line with. I'd say if you're the what is generally usually the singer, sometimes guitarist or whatever, and you're the songwriter, I would say find your friends or other musicians who are like-minded and want to do the same thing, and just pay them as doing that, and just be responsible for the business. Maybe have one other person if you're not a business savvy person or that's not something you're interested in being on top of. Have one other person be like actually a part of the company, and then if you're a musician, is why do you want that extra stress? Just find someone to play for them and kick the fuck back and relax and just have fun playing music.
Yeah. I mean, I was in a signed band and I was the singer, so I looked at it from a business standpoint. So I don't think it's controversial what you said. I actually fully agree with you. I had band members that were like, "This is going to be fun. We're going to do this," and I was like, "I don't think you guys really understand the amount of work that you have to do
Yeah.
and the business side of it." And they didn't. They ended up leaving the band. So yeah, no, I fully agree with you on that. I think that's the truth that most people need to hear.
Yeah. It's a company. You have to treat it as such, and it sucks sometimes, and it's not easy or fun being the boss, especially when it's your friends, and sometimes things do have to be addressed. So things do come up where you have to stop being the friend and start being the boss.
Yeah.
But ultimately, it sets everyone up for longevity, and it sets everyone up to do what they wanted to originally, which is to do this as your job and do
Yeah.
this as your career and your livelihood.
Awesome. Is there any plans to go to Latin America anytime soon?
We just got back. I mean, I know that my comment sections are constantly full of South America, and my booking agent has noted it, and I believe is in conversations or is starting conversations to try and tackle that.
Oh, awesome. That's pretty much all we have. One last thing was Fernanda, who's the editor in chief. It is her birthday, so I was wondering if you can give her a big happy birthday.
Absolutely, have the most incredible, wonderful birthday in the world.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sitting down with us. I can't wait to get this published, and thank you again for taking the time to be with us.
Absolutely, thank you.